You are doing a podcast, which I think is so brilliant.
Thank you.
And it's called Table Manners. And so tell us a little bit about this podcast and how you decided to get into this space.
So for being kind of a rather private person about my daughter and my private life, you know, I post maybe a thing about her taking the washing out of the washing dryer and put a kind of koala emoji on her face, but I'm quite private about it. But I managed to get my mother to be involved in a podcast. She didn't know what a podcast was. So I said, Mum, I want to ask people some questions because I get questions asked to me a lot and I'm bored of it. No offense, I'm enjoying this very much.
Okay, good.
And I just said, this would be fun. And I'm nosy and I kind of, I came from a journalist background. So I was like, this would be great. We're going to have conversations. It's going to be about another person. And I thought it would be great to revolve it around food because I love food. And that idea of having a chat over dinner. And what better person to cook the dinner than my mother, who is an excellent cook and host. And actually, she's kind of become the rising star of this podcast. And people chant her name at my gigs. And she's got this wonderful character. And it's been absolute magic. I never thought I was going to work with my mother. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, she drives me freaking crazy. But it's fun. And we have this beautiful document of interviews and laughing so much. So, yeah, we cook for a guest. So this week, just dropped today, the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, came round to break his fast over Ramadan. And it's, something always goes wrong. When we had George Ezra, I had to order a Deliveroo because I ruined the meal. But it's a bit slapdash, but it's very fun. And I think what people enjoy about it is actually the relationship that I have with my mother. And it is very dysfunctional and real, I'd like to say, bit warts and all. But we do have fun. I appreciate being a singer, but I also know that listeners come and go. And I am not in the position of an Adele or a Sam Smith where I've sold millions of records. And I rely on I trust my fan base and I adore them, and they are this strong, devoted core. But you never know whether they're going to like your next record or not. And so I think for me, as a businesswoman, a mother, to be able to have some other things going on that meant that music was not the be-all and end-all and actually could make me feel more creative making music rather than making me feel like that pressure to deliver a hit, which I never actually have done so far, but whatever, here's hoping. But it makes that become more pleasurable because I'm in there creating rather than having an agenda of sorts. So I think being able to have these different outlets has been actually brilliant for my creativity. I was discovered through the internet. It was when MySpace was about, it was when blogs were just starting, and it was this network kind of spreading the news. So I've relied on the internet. So when Spotify came, I was like, brilliant, people aren't illegally downloading my shit anymore. So they can stream it, and I'm not making any money anyway. So Spotify was this wonderful vehicle for my music to be there all together and people to be able to kind of learn and be enriched by, you have to know yourself because you're going to be so swayed by, there's so many people within, when I look at how many people work for me, when I say for me, this is within the labels, publishing, PR, lawyers, management. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, and I think it's so important for you to trust your gut and understand yourself, but also to be able to take criticism. But I think sometimes it can be so easy to be swayed by people that maybe don't understand you totally as an artist. And I think never be apologetic.